This is Rev Michellehopkins.
Overnight, there was a 7.5 earthquake in the Alaskan Gulf off the southeastern shores of Alaska. I went to Mimic with a CIMSS map that I quite often refer to. It's one of my best sources for TTA emissions. They are very telltale on this map, and the only emissions I'm going to refer to today are the ones that are directly affecting this area. As you can see, as it comes up right there, is an emission that, in my humble opinion, is originating from the Antarctic region. We have TTAs in the Antarctic region. This is an infrasonic plane. Now, to show you that infrasonic plane on the mimic map was not merely a mimic map anomaly, here is that infrasonic plane coming straight north from the Antarctic in the region that I showed you. And I will leave this source map in the description along with other sources so that you can check it out for yourself. But as you can see, this is a very powerful, very strong, high pressure infrasonic plane. Okay, these are the waves of the infrasonic plane. Each dark line is an infrasonic wave, and as you can see, aerosols from chemdross are attracted to it, which is why this infrasonic plane is created in the first place. Now, this infrasonic plane is higher than the clouds. It's a very, very high altitude infrasonic plane. And the reason I know that is it's above the clouds. It's not corresponding with frequency that's going other directions in the clouds. I don't know if you can see this shorter frequency traveling east and west through these clouds. And another way you can tell is when the clouds that are underneath it touch it, as these are doing right here, it cuts the tops of them right off. You see these right here? They're all touching it. And that infrasonic plane is just slicing the tops right off. You can see it touching it right there. As you can see, it reaches all the way up into the Alaskan Gulf. In a stop picture, I've shown you this plane as it begins, and it goes north of this island cluster on the shore that is the Alaskan shore in the Alaskan Gulf. You see where it goes, north of this cluster. Let's go north of this cluster. Oh, and look. Here is the 7.5 southeastern Alaska earthquake. Interestingly, also, another earthquake shows up south of that on the same curve as the North American tectonic plate. And if we look the USGS updates for the earthquakes in that area, here are the earthquakes that have resulted and aftershocks that have resulted in that area so far from that 7.5 earthquake. Now, there's something else I want to show you. Not only was there an upward infrasonic plane being emitted from the Antarctic, there is also a northern infrasonic plane coming from the Arctic region, perhaps Greenland, or perhaps this one could very well have been satellite emission. I doubt that. The reason I doubt that is because the emission itself is coming below the clouds, which tells me that it likely was bounced off the ionosphere. Now I'm going to show you something that will likely make your jaw drop. Looking for something that would cause that plane coming from Greenland skipping over up to the atmosphere and down. Now, when I looked for something that would cause that plane coming from the Greenland direction that would skip off of the ionosphere and back down in Canada and cause that infrasonic plane, I would be looking for a break in the clouds, first of all, that appears that same shape, that flat, long shape of an infrasonic plane. And that's exactly what I found. A break in the clouds just southwest of Greenland, the same shape as an infrasonic plane, just shortly after it had burst through the clouds. And you can tell that all the clouds around it are frantically undulated by frequency. Sonic frequency has just frantically undulated these clouds, and right in the midst of all this undulation is a break in the clouds, a very unnatural break in the clouds, going up, in my opinion, from the south of Greenland area. Well, what goes up must come down. If it skips off the ionosphere, it has to come down, doesn't it? This I found over Canada, in the central western portion of Canada, a sonic plane on its way above the clouds, breaking through the clouds, going westward, going down underneath the clouds in this break that it created. You can see very plainly this infrasonic plane traveling from above the clouds, down through the clouds, and going under. As you can see in this picture, the infrasound, this is the pressure of this infrasound is so incredible that I would not even know how to measure it, okay? And you can see up in here on this sister picture that is basically pasted to this other picture, the effect that it has on clouds that have gone over it. What is causing is the upward motion of that first sonic plane, that first infrasonic plane, is causing the weather to travel northeast, and then the southerly infrasonic plane is causing that to bend over and curl around in a cyclonic formation like this. This is the northern plane. This is another picture of that same moment. This is the northern plane hitting it. This is the southern plane hitting it, and you can see how that relates to the weather. It causes that hook to go around and a cyclonic result. This is another image of that, and I wanted to point something out to you. These waves are so magnetic that it's causing the particulates in the aerosols that have obviously been chem sprayed in throughout this to be attracted to the wave. The dark portion is the wave. That's the infrasonic wave. Very, very high pressure, and you can see these chemtrails and particulates are being attracted to that wave, and the next one attracted to that wave, and the next one attracted to that wave. I'm telling you, this is diabolical, and I don't believe it is simply has to do with controlling the weather up there. No, I think this has more to do also with tectonic stress. I believe that the powers that be they've come to the time when it's time to cause the ring of fire to become more unstable than it ever has been, and that this North American tectonic plate, I believe we're going to see more and more earthquakes along that plate, all the way down within the next few days, few weeks. Most certainly up here there are going to be lots of aftershocks because that's where it's mostly centered. But I want you to understand something about this. This downward pressure is causing downward pressure on the North American tectonic plate. I believe that this upward pressure is hitting the tectonic plate to the west of our tectonic plate and forcing it downward. Now, something you may not be aware of, with frequency, we have the capability of what scientists call molecular deconstruction. You've seen all these sinkholes taking place. Well, the sinkholes that take place where there is no rubble down in the sinkhole, where did that rubble go? I'm here to tell you that sinkhole was a result of directed frequency. If there is no rubble, that frequency hit that and created the sinkhole, dispersed the rubble via molecular deconstruction. It's not just a theory anymore. It is in full use with TTAs. We have that capability and we use it every day. What stops the powers that be from using molecular deconstruction on all of mankind that they want to kill all at once, rather than just doing it on these slow, soft kills? They believe in karma. These people who follow Satan, into their ears has been whispered the belief of karma, and they believe that they can give nature a push and then let nature take its course. But if they are the one with the knife in the hand, with the gun in the hand, putting the bullet in the head, that's bad karma, and they will have to pay for that in the next life. So they don't want to have to pay for it, so very selfishly they do the soft kill, hoping for a large soft kill. What they're doing here, in my humble opinion, if this is to do with seismic activity, and I believe it does, pushing this tectonic plate over it, that is creating movement of this entire North American tectonic plate, from the top all the way down to the bottom. And if you'll recall, there was a tsunami alert in effect. I could just hear in those inner rooms when they found out that once again the tsunami didn't work out. Oh, dang it! Man, it didn't happen. You know, I can just hear them that no tsunami occurred. I mean, it must be kind of embarrassing, because we know that Russia, their earthquake tsunami technology is very well advanced enough to cause Japan. And if we can't get ours to look just as devastating, what does that say about our military capability where HAARP is concerned? What does that say about American Tesla technology? It's kind of a black eye. It's well known among scientists in Tesla technology, particularly in the War Department, that the right frequency can render the human body a red mist. Molecular deconstruction. In Zechariah 14:12, on the great and terrible day of the Lord is going to cause a little molecular deconstruction of his own. It says this: "This is the plague with which the Lord will strike all the nations that fought against Jerusalem. Their flesh will rot while they are still standing on their feet. Their eyes will rot in their sockets, and their tongues will rot in their mouths. On that day, men will be stricken by the Lord with great panic. In Revelation 11:18, regarding that same day, the great and terrible day of the Lord, when He returns, the nations were angry, and your wrath has come. The time has come for judging the dead, and for rewarding your servants and your saints, and those who reverence your name, both small and great, and for destroying those who destroy the earth. You know, Satan's main goal is to destroy humanity and to destroy the earth which God created. He hates us that much, and his imps and his minions have that purpose. This is what God is saying, that He is going to destroy those who are trying to destroy this earth. And according to this scripture, they are going to have some success in doing so. Because this destroying those who destroy the earth, this is an ongoing process of destroying the earth. They're having some success at actually destroying the earth. They will not destroy it fully, obviously, but they will be destroyed because they are trying to destroy the earth.
This is Rev Michelle Hopkins. Thank you for watching, everyone, and God bless you.